My name is John Ramby. I'm a project manager at OK Interiors. I've used Dryvit for 20-something years. Dryvit is one of my favorite products. The support I get is number one, the most important that I have. People involved with Dryvit and the support they give me is second to none. So that's the biggest thing that I take out of Dryvit. My guys love applying the product. The workability of the product is a big factor. So that's one reason I've used Dryvit over the years. We're one of the firms that actually do pretty much all their finishes. I mean, we specialize in all of them. From the reflected to the custom brick to the Terra Neo to the standard finishes, we do them all. So when I walk into an architect's office and I can present different possibilities to put on their buildings, whether it be brick, metal panel look, standard finish, and so it's easy to walk in somebody's office and pretty much say, I can do your whole building and give you whatever look you want, and that's the advantage that we have with Dryvit. And then the workability, my guys love the workability of the actual eaves finish. To be honest, I think Dryvit does a pretty good job. I think if we can stay in front of the curve, I know that the continuous insulation factor is going to be a huge factor for the eaves industry. If we can stay ahead of that curve, I think we have a huge advantage on the masons and all the other claddings, because we already have the continuous insulation built into our system, and now we can give you whatever cladding, whatever you look on top of that. It's a huge advantage as long as we can keep showing what an advantage that is, and stay competitive, which I think we do. I think we can keep going. Over the years, I've always tried to have Dryvit or John Powers with Dryvit come in and train my guys to make sure. Systems are constantly changing. The construction practices are constantly changing. We try to stay ahead of the curve or so my guys know what they're supposed to look for, not just for how we install our product, but what's supposed to be there prior to our installation of product. So we try to make sure all of our guys are trained for that. All my foremen are trained for all that type of situations. So we try to keep them, every year to do something, to be involved with either a new product or update them from past products, and just to keep them fresh on what's going on in the industry.
Mark White, I work for Phillips Interior Exterior Systems out of Freeburgh, Illinois. Dryvit became a reality on this project a little bit over a year ago. We were called to the table by CB&E, the general contractor, and they wanted some ideas on what they could innovate into this project. We already had the ethos on the project, and they were looking for something a little bit more that would innovate this building. So we came up with the idea of proposing Reflecta on this job, and I think it just turned out unbelievably well for all the V-grooves and the colors that were picked in the area that the work was done in. It was the best solution for this problem that everybody felt. The architect was just simply amazed by it. The owner was tickled pink. Everybody was just in awe when it was all said and done. You're starting to see it more in hotels now. We are seeing it more on restaurants like TGI Fridays. There's other ones coming out that are spec'd right now for some Reflecta on it. It's doing good.
Jim Porter, and I am a principal at Applied Restoration. Applied Restoration has its roots or background in repair and restoration, structural restoration from essentially the ground floor to the roof. In the last 5 years or so, we've started to move into new construction because we've had many clients ask us, since we know how to fix them, well, why don't you put them together right the first time? In our vernacular, most people think of restoration as a fire or water damage. We actually restore the structural integrity of a building. They could be concrete repair, it could be the EIFS system or the stucco wall system was improperly installed to begin with, or through years of lack of maintenance and upkeep, water has gotten in behind the wall system. So we'll go in, and our restoration could be as little as replacing some caulk or coatings. Our major restorations, we've done buildings where they have been fully occupied and functional, and we have removed the entire skin of the building and redone from the studs, the drywall studs, out a complete structure. So we go from the foundation of the building up to the parapet cap and out. So we install everything. Our installers are all cross-trained. So we know, because we're restoration contractors, we have a good idea what causes a lot of these issues, which makes us a better new installation company, because we know what happens if you don't do something right. And we know that these systems need to be tied together properly. And that's where we enjoy working with Dryvit, because they really have that system down. And I think that the repair and restoration and code compliance and energy upgrades is going to really start hitting its stride in 2016. I think Dryvit has developed, the important thing is they've developed a product line that works, and that really works, and it's effective. And they're willing to back it up with a warranty. Dryvit is here to support you, to bring us in the beginning of a project, just like what we're doing with the plan checks. I think that's tremendously important. And the second thing, I'd remind them of the continuity of Dryvit and the quality that Dryvit brings to market.
David Nicolson, Nicolson Construction. We have 3 core values. Number 1 being safety, obviously, as everybody says. If somebody was asking who is Nicolson Construction, and asked every one of my superintendents that, this is a very safe company, very safe. And then number 2 was quality. What do you know for us? Our second core value is that we maintain the best quality out there, and that we do a job. And that comes with our product and stuff. But to answer that question, our third core value would be the number 1 thing is that our integrity. It's our third core value, and that we believe that's what the relationship between us and Dryvit has, the same thing, that integrity, that we will not sacrifice our integrity to anybody, and so we will always do whatever it takes to make sure that and I think that's what's grown our company. We've never been the cheapest, but those 3 key elements right there, I think, is what's helped us grow. EIFS is a great product. People ask me, what's on your house? EIFS is on my house. I wouldn't put anything else on my house. I mean, if you look at the whole package of EIFS, from a drainability to water tightness, to the insulation values and that, and to a product that, it's funny that we say, well, we'll give it a 10-year, 20-year warranty, or a lifetime warranty, right? It's like, well, the product's really going to be around forever. It's your building's going to last. It's those products are tried and true. And they're not going to go anywhere. And I can't say it about all EIFS companies. I'm an EIFS guy, but when you say, am I a Dryvit guy? Yeah, I mean, because over the years, I can count on one hand how many other manufactured products I've used. And that goes to not just say that Dryvit has great products. They do. They have great guys, great people we work with as well. But the product itself is Dryvit does with Dryvit what I do with Nicolson.
Rob Little Construction Incorporated. Yeah, the earlier you're in with the design or with the architects or with the owners, the project works so much better. Mm-hmm. If you go in for what they're basically calling a competitive bid, yeah, you hope that the job gets done right. You're just, which person missed something, which person's going to cut a corner, yeah, because they're not in it as a whole team trying to get a project done, yeah, on budget, on time. A lot of it's a lot of communication between the local distributor and John Powers and I. We all have a good working relationship with the communication factor. The biggest thing I would say is we have a common goal that we like the specialty products. We're not doing the everyday retail center per se. We do, but it's not the same. It's going out and working in as a team and as a partnership on speccing, the Terraneo, the Reflected, the limestone finishes, custom brick. A lot of that's just because I think there's a creative aspect that they like and I like. I don't have to do that, but it's something we enjoy doing. Oh, even to the train eye. I've talked to many different general contractors and architect firms. To this day, they still think that's a brick and metal panel building. They don't know that it's even eaves. I was in an architectural presentation earlier today, and I just showed pictures to the architects, and they said, "See, that's the kind of building we like: the metal panels and the brick." And I'm like, "That's all eaves." And you go up there and you don't really realize it. I mean, the everyday person walking down the street, they don't really even notice it all. But when it all comes down to it, the owner got to build that building, stay within budget, all because of what we could change on this building. Because if he would have went with metal panels or brick, there's no way they could have constructed it. Everybody in the market knows that Dryvit's got the best specialty products. Everybody knows that they're on the edge of all the new technology and what's best for the product line and what's best for the industry as a whole. They're basically everybody trying to ride their coattails. If we all stay stagnant, it's just the product has a hard enough time getting over some of the previous hurdles that it's had. And if you just stay stagnant, you're never going to get any further.
My name is Robert Sutton. I work for Reitter, Stucco, and Supply. Well, Dryvit is obviously a well-known brand. Much like any other manufacturer that's first or foremost in the market, well, Dryvit is obviously, I think, first and foremost in people's mind when it comes to eaves. Obviously, they've been in the business for a long time. Reitter Stucco has been in the business a long time, 100 years this year. So we'll be able to work together jointly on a project like this. Helps both of us with exposure and also to integrate new ideas. Dryvit's wonderful to work with. Their products are fabulous. I think their products are leading in the industry. We have very few complaints when it comes to their products, and their products have fairly ease of installation. It's the replication of the old of brick, metal panels, limestone. Those are just a few of the finishes that they have that have helped integrate eaves and stucco, or actually they use the acrylic finish over stucco as well. But especially eaves, integrate eaves into the construction and making it ease of installation for all facets of construction. The ease of installation of the panels. Anything that has a footprint like this building in its locale makes it extremely difficult to construct with standard scaffolding or lifts. It's gonna require swing stage or other devices in order to reach the exterior cladding, exterior part of the building. In order to do that and do it efficiently, the best thing to do is use panels. I think the eaves panels they're the future of putting product on the wall, and they're a lot less expensive than metal panels.